Hi, my name is David Holt from the Food Safety Team at Metcash, and today we're going to go through another of the e-log sheets on the Refss system. This one is going to be done for hot food cooking and storage temperature checks. So on your tablet, which you should already be familiar with, you need to go through and you need to find your hot food cooking and storage temperature check and go in and start that log sheet. For this, you're going to need a tablet. You're also going to need a pro thermometer, all right? For any hot food that you store in your store, or for any cooking that you do in your store, you should always use a separate pro thermometer that's calibrated to plus or minus 1 degree of at least 60 degrees. Okay, so you need to go through and you need to have that. It's no good doing a temperature check on your hot chickens or any of your hot food with one of these IR guns, okay? Because the infrared guns won't be accepted in an environment like this by your health inspector. So make sure that you've got a probe on hand, and make sure before you use that probe on any of your products that it's sanitised with either alcohol swabs or with sanitizer. You shouldn't be sticking any of those probes or pieces into any product that you're going to sell to your customers unless it's first been sanitised and cleaned. So make sure of that. Once you've got that, you can go through and you can start your log sheet. In this log sheet, like every other log sheet, it's going to ask you to choose your name at the start of the form. So go through and put your name in there. If your name isn't in the list, then you can choose other, and you can put your name in there by typing it in. What you're then going to be asked by the log sheet is you're going to be asked what you're actually doing. So in this store, we've got our bain-marie set up, and that's the hot food storage, and we've also got our chicken cooking set up. So what we're going to be doing in this check is we're going to be doing both, okay? So we're going to be doing the bain-marie, and we're also going to be doing barbecue chickens. So when it comes up with barbecue chickens or whatever it might be, that's the cooking check. What you need to be doing in your log sheets is you need to have your hot storage units listed for that check, okay? And make sure that any staff using this log sheet is going through and doing both of those checks whenever they're doing this form. You may choose to enter temperatures in for every cook that you do, so that you've got a history of it. The food safety program just requires a minimum of two checks per day for cooking and 2 storage checks per day. But if you want to do more than that, by all means, go for it. So I've chosen here today, I've chosen to do my bain-marie hot food check, and I've also chosen to do my barbecue chickens. Once we've done that, you press done, and it moves on and it starts taking you through what the requirements are and what you need to input into the system. So the first one is that we're going to do bain-marie. It's telling me that the system wants a temperature for the bain-marie. So I'm going to test a product with my probe. So I'm going to put this down so I don't drop it. And by using the probe, make sure it's turned on. And what you need to do is you need to put the probe, and I'm going to test hot chickens here. You need to put the probe into the thickest part of the chicken, which is the breast. So with your clean probe, you stick it into the part of the chicken that's the thickest, and you only need to put it in by about this much. Don't stick it all the way in, because it's only the top part of the probe that takes temperature of product. Then what you want to do is you want to take note of the temperature. So in here right now, this chicken, and the temperature's still climbing, 77.7, 77.9. In a hot food storage area, the rules that are set in your e-log sheet is that it needs to be above 60 degrees. If it's not above 60 degrees and you put in your e-log sheet 59.5, then it's going to come up that you need to do a corrective action, because that's not meeting the food safety standard. Okay, so it has to be above 60 degrees. In here, and it's still climbing very slowly, but in this unit, it's telling me that it's 79.6. I'm going to put in my e-log sheet 79.6, and I'm going to move on. Now, just for your information, if your bain-marie is sitting that hot, then it's likely that you're still cooking product, and the quality of the product is going to diminish a lot quicker than if you've just got your temperature of bain-marie set to keep product at 65 degrees. So just keep that in mind as well. At 74, 79 degrees, you're still cooking your product. So once we've done that, take the probe out, close your bain-marie up, and you move on with the next check. So if I put that down, I've put in 79.6 in there. The correct temperature needs to be above 60, so we're happy, and we move on. The next check is going to be chicken cooking. Now, we don't have any cooking happening right now, so I'm just going to take you through the log sheet. You would take the temperature of the chicken the same way as you have when you've done your bain-marie check. You do the probe into the thickest part of the chicken, which is the breast, and you take the core temperature of that chicken. For food safety standards, we require that the core temperature of the chicken when it's being cooked, or any hot foods, is 74 degrees. We recommend that chicken is 88 degrees because then we know that it's cooked all the way through. A customer's not going to get a pink chicken, but depending on your oven, it might be less than that, but just keep that in mind. At 88 degrees, we usually keep the chicken cooked all the way through. So if I put in here that when I've done my oven and I've done my cook, and I go through and I do my temperature check with the probe, if I put in here that the temperature says that it's 71 degrees, it's going to then tell me that I've got a problem, because we need to make sure that any cooked foods are cooked to above 74 degrees. So a corrective action for that is simply going to be put your chickens back in the oven, or put your hot food back in the oven, continue cooking them so that they get to the required temperature. For this situation, I'm going to say that the chicken has reached, or the hot food has reached 76 degrees. I'll say 76.5, which is above 74. And then I'm going to sign that log sheet off. I'm going to save that. And then once I'm satisfied that I've completed all of my log sheet, I'm going to go through and I'm going to submit it.